Oh, well, I was ready for the big snow.
Look at him now.
That was a pretty cool event.
Yes, it was. It was. I mean, no, don't repeat it. Don't repeat it. I think it's just talking about something.
What's the weather like?
Thank you for coming. No, because I feel good.
Jennifer, I think you're first up. You good to go?
Oh, yes, I'm ready. Thank you for giving me a clear sign. I was wondering when that time would come. All right, welcome everyone. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to all our specially invited guests. There's so many of you to name, but thank you all for being here. Thank you to the members of the press, and thank you to our Honorable Governor Murphy for being here, and our Lieutenant Governor. Thank you all. My team, Light Up Your World, and I welcome you. My name is Jennifer Aigboidian. I am the Executive Director of Administration here at Light Up Your World, Inc. We are an outreach agency based here in Malton, New Jersey, Burlington County, and we partner with the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs to bring much-needed services to the less privileged in our state. Light Up Your World is an organization that lives up to its name, and in our daily work, we have seen the tremendous impact that reaching out to New Jersey residents has made by taking the time to just call and explain the benefits available to them and how they can qualify. We are grateful to be in this position to connect several New Jersey homes with the life-changing resources that the state provides, and the Lead Safe Home Remediation Program is one of them. Many of us are aware of the devastating effects that lead in the blood can have to the health of children. It causes severe damage in the child's brain and nervous system and can hinder their growth and development. Even a low level of lead in the blood can lead to learning and behavioral problems. This is something that we are very concerned with, and in some cases, a child may not even show any symptoms. But the point is that we need to do all that we can to prevent this from happening in every child in New Jersey. According to the CDC, although lead can be found in many places in a child's environment, most lead exposure is preventable. So the best way to prevent it is to stop children from coming into contact with lead in the first place. Now, parents and guardians can take proactive steps to make their homes more lead safe. Now, one of the ways to do this is to have the home checked by a licensed lead inspector if they live in a home or building built before 1978. Now, even those that rent can request that their landlord have the home checked as well. Now, because of the initiatives of Governor Murphy through the bills that he signed into law and the lead assistance program launched by the Department of Community Affairs, we can further protect New Jersey's families from lead poisoning and advance New Jersey as a leader in lead poisoning prevention. Now, Light Up Your World is ready and very excited to reach as many families in the counties we serve through these programs and to ensure more New Jersey families live in healthier and lead-safe homes. So thank you so much again for being here, and at this time, I'm going to welcome up Governor Murphy.
Jennifer, thank you. It is a treat to be here this morning.
on this beautiful, crisp February 1st a.m. Good morning, everybody. Jennifer Agboidion, thank you so much to you and your team for hosting us so graciously. Jennifer is a double threat educated at Rutgers undergrad and Temple graduate, so I'm going to choose to fall on the Rutgers side of that, but they're both great institutions. And to you and the entire team here at Light Up Your World, we thank you for allowing us into your home this morning. To your left, I want to thank Mayor Jackie Vesey, and we're going to hear from her in a few minutes. To you and the Deputy Mayor and members of council, great to be back in town, one of my favorite places to go. I'm incredibly, Dan O'Connell is here, and I want to acknowledge him and the commissioners in this great county. I'm joined by my incredible partner in government, the rockin' one and only singular Lieutenant Governor. Let's hear it for her, Sheila Y. Oliver. She is also, importantly, for this event and for many events, the commissioner as well of the Department of Community Affairs. And that's a big player in this gathering today. Terry Tucker's in the house. I want to give her a shout out. Dr. Herb Conaway, my cousin Carol Murphy, and my new friend Brandon Umba are here from the Assembly. Great to have you with us. And that's Dr. Herb, I just turned 60 Conaway, in case you're wondering. So together, we are pleased to announce, now I'll get serious because this is a serious reason to gather, but it's a good one. We are pleased to announce more than $38 million in grants through the lead remediation and abatement grant program, which will protect hundreds of thousands of residents from the danger of home-based lead, most critically, the danger of lead paint. And Jennifer, you laid out very well. The 20 recipients of these grants include local and county governments and community-based nonprofit organizations reaching residents across 20 of our counties. And we're here specifically because Light Up Your World is among these recipients. I think, Sheila, for the first time, right? Yeah. And will receive $4 million to undertake, to undertake lead remediation and abatement efforts throughout their service area across Burlington and Camden counties. So congratulations. It is richly deserved. Light Up Your World and the others were all selected based on the need of the areas they serve, with special consideration given to the number of children under the age of 6 who have been found to have elevated lead levels in their blood. The total number of such affected children in the areas served by today's recipients is 4,537, and that includes 153 right here in Light Up Your World's backyard in both Burlington and Camden counties. We've known the dangers of lead paint for a long time. Lead paint, in fact, was banned in 1978, so we've had more than 4 decades to get far ahead of this curve. But we hadn't, even though we know what the sources of exposure are. We know the homes that are most at risk, and we know how to eliminate that risk. By any definition, knowing that more than 4,500 New Jersey kids in 2023 face lifelong health and cognitive consequences because of lead exposure is not only intolerable, it is an environmental injustice. So today we are putting our efforts into the next gear. And given that today is the first day of Black History Month, we could not ignore the very simple reality that this health crisis impacts predominantly Black and brown families, and especially children. And this is not going to be a small job. In the areas served by these grant recipients, there are more than 1.8 million homes that were built prior to 1978's lead paint ban. Obviously, not all of them still have a lead paint exposure problem, but the odds are many still do. And to that, the Department of Community Affairs under Sheila's leadership, as well as the Department of Environmental Protection and the Department of Health, working in partnership, have launched a statewide online mapping tool that denotes literally street by street and house by house which properties were built prior to the lead paint ban and which are more likely to contain a lead poisoning hazard. So this is a job to which we must commit. We must commit funds, as we're doing today, and we must commit to growing the ranks of certified workers trained in remediation and abatement, which we will continue to do in broad partnerships with our friends in organized labor. Much has been said and reported about lead exposure through old and tainted water lines, and that's for good reason. But let us be very clear, more residents face exposure from decades-old lead paint. Paint which has been ground down into a fine dust and spread throughout a home through years of windows being open and closed or doors being open and shut, etc. So today marks the start of our next phase in combating this growing crisis. As I said, it's been nearly 45 years since lead paint was banned, but its ghost continues to haunt too many of our families and homes. And through the efforts of Light Up Your World and today's 19 other grant recipients, we're taking on the job of exorcising those ghosts. It is truly a pleasure, Jennifer, to be here. Thank you so much again for hosting us. Jackie as well in town. And with that, please help me welcome my incredible partner in government, the Lieutenant Governor, Sheila Y. Oliver.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. You know, as Governor Murphy was making his remarks, it just gave me a trip down memory lane. When in New Jersey, we began to come to terms and to come to grips with the fact that we are a very old industrial state. And if you look at the history of our state, you know, there's a saying, you know, I don't know if there's a pastor in the room, but there's a saying, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. And decades ago, our scientists, our manufacturers, they did not realize the implication of lead-based paint. I want to identify the two people in DCA that make this work for us. Janelle Winter, Assistant Commissioner, who heads up the Division of Housing and Community Resources, and Kaya King, who heads up our operation of legislative and external affairs. They have been working tirelessly these past few months with every single stakeholder, every local nonprofit organization, et cetera, to identify and prepare us for this day. And I have to give a shout out to the staff of Governor Murphy as well, because we started this planning in October, and here we are. I'm not going to go through the statistics and the numbers and, you know, what we can accomplish. Lead poisoning is disastrous for children. I've known children who suffer from lead poisoning. Developmental delays and developmental delays that carry them into adulthood. And, you know, innocently kids, you know, eating a chip of paint. I remember a child care center calling me frantically in Newark because they couldn't get their license approved. The problem, the pantry in which they stored the food had lead-based paint in it. And I explained to the director, good, bad, or indifferent, you've got to pay for this, bring the folks in, and let's clean up that part of your child care center. So congratulations to Light Up Your World. Congratulations to the mayor, and Dan, you know that the other aspect of this is a job creation initiative. We are able to, as Governor Murphy said, train, employ, put people to work, and that is what this will do. And this program isn't going to be a one-shot. We will be addressing the issue of lead in New Jersey for quite a long time, just as we did asbestos. So thanks for supporting us. I've got to say this. One thing, since this is Herb, who just turned 60.
Did you all get that?
Herb Conaway in the legislature for decades has been a vociferous voice about lead. He has for decades when nobody, you know, thought this was important, and I want to thank you for that. And why we listen to him, not only is he a doctor, he's a lawyer.
There you go.
Thanks,
Well done.
Gov.
Let's hear it for Sheila one more time. You said it, Sheila, this is not a one and done. I'd love to think that we could wave a magic wand and this 38 million will get us into the end zone, but we have more work to do. We're well on our way on the lead service line front. Newark set the model for the country, never mind New Jersey, and this is getting us accelerated on the lead paint front. I want to add to Sheila's very serious comments about Herb, because I'm going to introduce him to speak. Herb is not only a great friend and a great legislator, but he runs the health operation in Burlington County. And for events like this, for topics like this, he's been a clarion voice. But I will tell you, in particular, Sheila and I have valued his partnership never more so than during the COVID pandemic when we were leaning on each other hard. So in all seriousness, happy birthday. Please help me welcome Dr. Herb Conaway.
Well, and I have that now. And the next January 30th, we'll be right here for another event. But as I say at times like this, that leadership counts. I mean, I have been in the legislature for 25 years, and we have battled other administrations against cuts to this program, cuts that endangered the lives of our children, the things that so many of us hold most dear, whether you have children of your own or not. New Jersey's children are our children, and we have a responsibility to not only bring them in this world, by the way, and by the way, you should know, and I happened to be at an event yesterday attended by the First Lady, where the governor of this administration has made a commitment to doing something about the deplorable state of inadequacy and disparity that impacts women of color and children of color as they try to bring children into this world. It takes leadership and investment. You can't wish it into being. You can't dream about it. You have to take action against it. And you've been doing this certainly for children and for mothers, but here in lead, a situation, a toxin, no level in the body is safe. It's stored in your teeth. It's stored in your bones. It impacts your brain, impacts your liver. Mothers, of course, everything in the mother goes into the baby. So if the mother's lead burdened, the child who's born will be lead burdened. And of course this impacts as an economic issue because many people who live in homes built in the 50s and the 70s are those of lower socioeconomic status. Many of them are people of color, and so it is an environmental health issue, and it's also a disparities issue when you look at power and resources in this country. And the question is, if we say we're going to do something about it, are we going to do something about it? This $180 million, I can tell you, our department needs it. We have inspectors that go out. We need the help of Light Up Your World, and thank you for the great work that you're doing because we have to find it. If you don't look for it, you can't find it, and then you can't remediate it. And so these monies will allow us to do that, to put people in homes, to do the work that needs to get done. Now, we have seen the kind of tragedy, saying things that people are doing good. Now, this dust that the governor mentioned, when the home is reconstructed or a significant renovation is done, that dust certainly gets in the house, but also often gets in the soil. Sometimes people have stored lead-burdened material on their property. We had a case just last year where some growing vegetables in their garden, but they were growing vegetables on a field of lead. And we're trying to figure out where in the world this problem came from, but it came through the very things they thought were making them healthy, because the lead was in the ground. The lead was in the ground. So this toxin, and look, we're an industrial state. We led the economic revolution, drove the economy not only here but across the world. We're still doing that, by the way, because New Jersey's a leader economically, by the way, thanks to this administration. But we have to deal with the externalities that come from our productive capacity, and lead is one of them. We have a responsibility going forward to the generation that's here that may suffer from it, and to protect future generations that would need places to live and will be using these homes as they ought to be used, but they need to be used safely. So I'm grateful for leadership. Leadership always counts. I'm grateful for this investment. You can't get there unless you invest. And I'm proud of the administration, the governor, and I'm proud to stand before you and to say that we will be shoulder to shoulder with these efforts, and more to be done. More testing for children, that's got to come. I think universal testing, we need to do it, because again, you don't know what you don't look for, you don't find. So thanks for attending. Let's get the word out, and let's get this important job done. Thank you.
Herb, really well done, and thanks for your leadership, and thanks for reminding us This is, I mentioned the coordination is among DCA's taking the lead. Thank you, ladies. And then also with the Department of Health and Department of Environmental Protection. That's why guys like Ed Potasnik is here from the League of Conservation Voters, because this is also an environmental step, and I appreciate your being here and leadership of the other organizations. And it's a racial justice statement. This is disproportionately, we've all mentioned it, impacting largely kids in brown and black communities and families. And thank God we're making progress, but there's more work to do for sure. Dan, I also want to reiterate the shout out. I gave you one, Sheila gave you one. I just want to tell you every time I see your smiling face. Dan's one of the people who keeps us honest as it relates to organized labor and transportation, I might add as well. So thank you, Dan. So last but not least, she's the mayor. She's someone I've met now over the many years at this point, and Jackie does a great job, and she's joined by a bunch of her colleagues today. Please help me welcome Mayor Jackie VC here. Thanks for having us.
Good to see you. Okay. Welcome, everyone, to Evesham. I love welcoming people to Evesham, especially to have so many distinguished members of our community with us. So I just want to say, once again, thank you, Governor Murphy. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Oliver. To the members of Light Up Your World, Jennifer, Moses, and Leke, to our other elected officials in the room, Assemblyman Herb Conaway, Assemblywoman Carol Murphy, Assemblyman Brandon Umba, Commissioner Dan O'Connell, and I would be remiss if I didn't point out my council colleagues here, Deputy Mayor Eddie Freeman, Councilman Heather Cooper, Councilwoman Pat Hansen, and Councilwoman Gina Maria Espinoza. We love to celebrate Evesham, so we are all here to celebrate together, and I love to learn more about the great organizations that we have in our community and the other projects that are happening in and around our town. And it's especially wonderful to highlight a nonprofit right here in town helping financially challenged families access the help they need, and with this program really helping people who could be suffering from lead that they don't even realize that they have. And when I think about the funding that was announced here today, I keep thinking about all the families and children whose lives will be helped by this news, and with the help from organizations like Light Up Your World, this funding will be able to reach so many families here in Evesham, in our county, and around the state. The adverse effects of lead exposure in children are well documented with slowed growth and development, or even long-term damage to the brain and nervous system, as Dr. Conaway said, as well as Lieutenant Governor. We've heard others say, and one of my favorite singers say all the time, Whitney Houston, that the children are our future. But today those words are more than just talk. Today is a promise to improve the long-term health and well-being of our state's most valuable resource, our kids. This funding and the forthcoming remediation projects will also help further strengthen the partnership between local governments, community organizations, organized labor, more jobs, as we continue to partner to help families in need. I once again want to thank Governor Murphy, Lieutenant Governor Oliver, their entire administration for reaffirming their commitment to future generations here in Evesham and across our entire state. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you. Really well done. I love coming here. I love coming here.
Thank you.
I just said it, Jackie, I love coming to Evesham, so thank you for having me. So thank you. Jennifer, deep thanks to you. Jennifer Boydion. So I've got some, it's now rolling off my tongue, and I appreciate you giving me a chance to practice. To each and every one of you, most importantly to the Light Up Your World team. It's a real, what's your website? Is it lightupyourworld.org or? Yes. Okay, everyone get that? Shameless promotion of Light Up Your World. lightupyourworldinc.org. You're a 501c3, I assume? Correct. Correct. So everybody out there, get your checkbooks out and support these people. On behalf of Sheila and myself, to everybody here, it's been a really special moment, and this is an incredibly important step. Again, it's a step in a journey. We're not in the end zone. Speaking of the end zone, as we break, Sheila and I want to dispel the rumor that immediately after the Eagles' victory, that Herb, Carol, Brandon, Dan, and Jackie snuck into the lighting room at the Empire State Building and lit the building up green. Now, I know there's been a lot of rumors out there. Sheila and I are here to tell you they are not responsible. You've got to look elsewhere for the guilt of that one. Thank you all. Take care, everybody.